In this tutorial, we're going to take a look at how to add information to multiple sheets at one time. So what I mean by that is in a prior tutorial we added additional sheets to our workbook for additional salesmen. Now we'd already added information in the Michael sheet, which is what we're looking at now, and what I would like to do is select this information and copy it to the other sheets, but I don't want to copy it to each sheet individually, because if I had multiple sheets it could take a long time. So doing it this way, we can copy this information across all of the sheets in our workbook at one time. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select the information in the Michael sheet that I would like to copy, and I'm going to click copy on my ribbon. I'm on my home tab and I'm going to click copy. I now have the dancing border. I'm then going to click on the Michaela tab. Now notice that the Michaela tab is dimmed out, Michael's tab is still blue. I'm then going to hold in my shift key, click on the Tyler tab and the Sean tab. Now when I did that, because I was holding in my shift key, I selected the Michaela tab, the Tyler, and the Sean tab, and I know all three of those are selected as a group because we can clearly see that the color on each tab is dimmed out. I'm now going to click inside of cell A1 and click paste on my clipboard. Now when I click on the Tyler tab and the Sean tab, notice that it didn't just copy that information into the Michaela tab, it also placed it in Tyler and Sean as well. And if I click off of that back onto the Michael tab, I'm going to go ahead and press the escape key, and that will get rid of that dancing border. And it's a little easier to see now that I have in fact copied that information. So let's do that again. So at this point I'm going to click on the Michaela tab, hold in the shift key. While I'm holding in that shift key, I'm going to click on Tyler and Sean. And at this point I'm going to delete the information out because I want to do it again so that everyone can follow along. So I'm going to select all the information that I want to delete. I'm going to right click and choose delete. And I'm going to just shift the cells up. I'm then going to click on the Michael tab to deactivate the group. And then if I click on Michaela, Tyler, and Sean, notice that the information was deleted across all of the sheets at one time. So let's do that again. So I'm going to copy the information on the Michael tab. I'm selecting copy on my ribbon. I'm then going to click on the Michaela tab, hold in my shift key, and click on Tyler and Sean. I'm then going to paste the information onto the Michaela tab, and now we can see that it was pasted onto the other tabs as well. So I would like to show you how to delete that information one more time so that we can repeat the action together using a different method. So at this point I'm going to select all of the information I would like to delete, and then I'm going to click the delete key on my keyboard. Notice that, remember from a prior tutorial, when we click the delete key on our keyboard, it does not delete the formatting, it only deletes the data. But I want the formatting to be gone as well. So instead of using the delete key on the keyboard, I'm going to right click and choose delete and shift the cells up, click OK, and that will remove the formatting as well. So I'm now going to click back on the Michael tab. Now we're going to repeat this one more time, but I want to bring something to your attention because this can cause some frustration, and sometimes when we're working with this we think that we're just not getting it or not doing it right. There is an instance, as you can see, I'm now active in the Michael tab, and if I select the information that I want to copy and click copy, and I just hold in my shift key at this point and click Michaela, Tyler, and Sean, and then click on the Michaela tab and choose paste. Notice that when I click on Tyler and Sean, the information did not copy into those spreadsheets. And you may be wondering, well, why not? And here's what happened. If you notice, all of the tabs are active, including the Michael tab. So the difference was, in prior times that we did this, I copied the information from the Michael tab and then I clicked on the Michaela tab before holding in my shift key. And that's really the trick to that, because if you don't, it will not copy the information to additional worksheets. So let's go to the Michaela tab. Well, let's click on our Totals tab to deselect the group. Let's click on our Michaela tab, and this time I'm just going to delete this information so that we can repeat this action again. I'm just going to shift the cells up. So let me show you that again. If I click on the Michael tab and I copy the information, and I just clicked copy from my ribbon, and then I click on the Michaela tab, notice that the Michael tab is now deactive, and I hold in my shift key, click on Tyler and Sean, and then paste the information in. It does paste to all of the sheets. However, let's go ahead and delete that out so that we can see what happens in the opposite way. I'm just shifting the cells up. If I click on the Michael tab and choose copy, and without clicking off of Michael onto Michaela, if I just leave Michael's tab active and then hold in the shift key and click Michaela, Tyler, and Sean, and then click on Michaela and choose paste, it does not copy the information to the preceding sheets. So it's very important to understand what's happening if this isn't working correctly. So at this point I'm going to click on the Totals tab to deselect the group. I'm going to click on Michaela's and I'm going to just delete this information again. And I'm just going to shift the cells up. So again, to look at this in the proper way, we need to, if we're going to use the copy method, we need to click on the sheet that we would like to copy the information from, select that information, click on the next sheet, which deactivates the sheet that we just copied from, hold in our shift key, and while the shift key is selected, then select the tabs and copy the information in. That way it will actually copy to all the sheets. So that is something to take note of. Now the other way that we can do this was just by copying the information. We can actually type the information in. So if I click on the Michaela sheet, hold in my shift key and click on Tyler and Sean, and I can click on cell A1 and type in sales by quarter, and then I can type in the month's names for January, February, March, and again you can use your autofill for this if you choose, in April. And in cell C2 I'm going to type in commission rate, and I'm going to go ahead and click on cell C2 and also select D2, and on my ribbon, if we remember from the prior tutorial, I can click on merge and center, and that will merge those cells. And if you remember, we also merged and centers cell C3 and D3 together. So I've clicked on cell C3, I'm going to drag over to cell D3 and click on merge and center. And I would also like to draw a top border across these cells from A6 over to E6. So I'm going to click on A6 and drag over to E6, and then in my font grouping I'm going to click the drop down box and choose top border, and that will get my line back. And I would like to merge and center the title across the table that I've created, so I'm going to click on cell A1, left click and drag over to cell E1, and then click merge and center again. And then I can just add the colors in, so I'm going to click on the cell A1. In my font grouping, I'll click the drop down beside the paint bucket and choose green. I'll then click on cell A2 and drag down to cell A5 and click on the green again. And then this area we made a little lighter, so I will click on this area and choose a lighter color of green. Under April we actually had the word total, and I'm going to make that the darker color green, so I'm using the paint bucket again and just selecting from the color palette, and I'm going to select cell B6 through E6 and make those the lighter green color. So at this point we've recreated this table, and if we click on the Michael tab to deselect the group, I can click on Michaela, and we just created that there, and we can also see that it was created in Tyler and Sean as well. So that's the two methods that you can use to add information across spreadsheets all at one time. Now the information that we dropped in, I didn't get the colors exactly right, so let's delete it and just copy it from the Michael tab so that it's consistent in its formatting. So I've clicked on the Michaela tab, I'm going to hold in my shift key and click on Tyler and Sean, and then I'm going to select all of the information that I want to delete. I'm going to right click and choose delete, and I'll just choose to shift the cells up. I'm then going to click on the Michael tab, and I'm going to use the earlier method of copying, and I'm going to select all of the information that I want to copy. I'm going to click copy from my ribbon. I'm then going to click on the Michaela tab, hold in my shift key, and click on Tyler and Sean. Then I'll click inside of cell A1 and just click the paste button from the ribbon, which is right here. And as we can see, it was dropped into all of the additional sheets as well. So let's click on the Totals tab to deselect the group, and let's take a look. I'm going to press the escape key to get the dancing border to go away. But if we look, our Michael tab, Michaela, Tyler, and Sean have all been formatted in the same way. Now on our Michael tab, our row 1 is a little wider, and if I just left click on the line between 1 and 2, I can see the height, which is 26.5. So I can click on the Michaela tab, hover on the line between, let's go ahead and shift it, let's select all of them. So I've clicked on Michaela, I'm going to hold in the shift key, click on Tyler and Sean, and I'm then going to hover over the line between rows 1 and 2 on the Michaela tab. So my mouse pointer has now become the small black cross. I'm going to hold in my shift key and drag down until I get to the same height, and it was 26.25, so I've now got it at that height, and I'll release that. So now it is formatted in the same height. If we click back on the Michael tab, I can see that cell C2 is larger, and if I hover over the line between C and D, it will show me the width, and that width is 14.57. So if I want these to be exact, I need to click on the Michaela tab, hold in my shift key, click Tyler and Sean, and then I'm going to hover on the line between columns D and C, and I'm going to click my left mouse button and hold that in and drag to the right. And I believe that was 14. That's about right. So if I click on the Michael tab, I can see that the other sheets look the same. So that's how we would format multiple sheets at one time. So it just makes it faster. We don't have a lot of sheets in the spreadsheet, but sometimes you'll get 40 or 50 sheets in your workbook, and when you're trying to keep formatting consistent across them, it's easier to format all at one time than having to click inside of each sheet individually and do formatting, because that can be very time consuming. So please join me for a future tutorial.